Hello, you've caught me thinking about the future. And I don't mean in a where do you see yourself in 5 years kind of way, because that's boring. I'll have left access to be an accountant so as to provide a more secure life for my young family. I'm talking about the future as depicted by video games. Usually it's an absolute flipping mess. Orwellian regimes, scorched wasteland, a man with sunglasses welded into his face, and even more usually, this is because of idiot people.
Should we detonate a nuclear bomb? Should we detonate some nuclear? Is that a good idea? Yeah.
Here are 7 video game visions of the future where humans have completely ballsed it up. We'll start with our headline act because it's in the thumbnail. It's probably why you're here, and about a minute into this video you're realising you'd much rather go back to playing it than listen to me drone on in a stupid nasally voice. Fallout 4. It's okay, I feel the same. I didn't even want to make this stupid video.
I don't want to do the video this week, I just want to play the game.
But tragically, that's my actual real job. So anyway, Fallout 4 and all the previous games in the series are set after a nuclear apocalypse in a fictional timeline that splintered from actual human history after the Second World War. According to Fallout, civilization underwent a nuclear revolution in the 50s, and everything became powered with this new, cleaner energy source, from retro future automobiles to potentially murderous robots who definitely only ever use their killy robo limbs to trim hedges and make salad. Then everything ran out. Energy, resources, common sense, and the bombs went off because people. Fast forward a couple of 100 years and the world's a rusted ruin of raiders, mutants, radiation, and tyres. Bloody tyres everywhere. And for all that, we still couldn't get rid of racism, classism, political fear-mongering, or baseball. Good going, humans. I didn't ask for this, says Adam Jensen, the growly protagonist of Deus Ex Human Revolution and the upcoming Mankind Divided. This being a number of things. Things like a world where the divide between the haves and the have-nots is a yawning chasm of greed and corruption. Things like a city where, for some reason, it's always nighttime. Things like blades for arms and invisibility and the power to punch through concrete walls. Yes. You would ask for that. Yeah, so would I, actually. The bottom line is that the world of Deus Ex, despite looking cooler than a Blade Runner lunchbox, is a very miserable place, full of poverty and crime, and a subclass of human being with bio-augmentations who are shunned by the rest of society. So we've got a world where people can leap through the air with the legs of a metal kangaroo, and somehow human idiocy has turned that into a bad thing. Like, the people with augmentations are eating worms out of a bin. Humans. Now, the world of Mad Max, our third entry, is something of an enigma. No one really knows why the land is scorched and dead. It could have been a meteor, more likely it was nuclear war, but we can't say with absolute certainty. What we can say, however, is that in these types of situations, Fallout, are you listening? Humans have the chance of starting again, of rising from the ashes, wiping away the dust of the past and building an equal, just and fair society where everyone can flourish, where the ruins of bygone years can become the foundations of the future. Or you could just make a bunch of cars with spikes on them. Yeah, let's do that. Oh dear, the world of Mad Max. Look what you've done. Gone and made it all about punching and fire again. Well, if you insist. Ah, that's better. Clean, bright, airy. More like a lifestyle advert than a city, admittedly, but it's better than oil and burning death. Maybe Mirror's Edge has made a nice, optimistic version of the future where everyone's happy and lives in a tall glass box. No, it's an Orwellian surveillance state. What a surprise. So the price for living in a city cleaner than a showhouse bathroom is to have all your personal data stored in a massive tower and have cameras peering in at you while you're getting changed, and have militarised police and corrupt political figures lording it over the populace, almost as bad as real life. Mirror's Edge is proof that evil doesn't always look like an angry eye made of fire. Sometimes it wears a suit and enjoys primary colours, and festers at the core of a world where personal freedoms have been sacrificed in the name of order and control. The only way to save a world like that? Jump off a wall, lots and lots. Science! What an excellent thing science is, finding out stuff and making technology better and making rock stars out of people like Brian Cox.
I actually was a rock star once. I was in a band called D-Ream and we had a little song about what it was like to be alive in the 90s.
Not now, Brian. Anyway, the science of Half-Life 2 land was some really good science, and they invented an interdimensional teleporty thing that could, in theory, allow a malevolent race of aliens to come through and subjugate the entire human race in collusion with a corrupt and cowardly human government. It's okay, it probably won't happen. But of course, it did happen, and everyone in Half-Life 2 lives under the cruel dictatorship of the Combine, a cosmically powerful organisation of various intergalactic races whose collective purpose is to rule the multiverse. So you could argue the Combine have ruined this video game future, but the fact Black Mesa sort of clumsily invited them over with the promise of same-universe teleportation, and then our leaders sycophantically snuggled under their totalitarian armpits, kind of means it was mostly our fault. Our penultimate entry this week is the world of the Killzone series, a place where humans have ballsed up so intensely, consistently and stupidly that they've not only inadvertently created a hostile race of space Nazis, but they've also wiped out half a planet, killed billions of people, and then asked the Helghast if they'd perhaps like to come and live next door. Yes, please, said the Helghast survivors in Killzone Shadowfall. We'll come and live with you on Vector. We promise we won't murder anyone, and we'll pay our taxes. Oh look, it's a war again, and while the Helghast are undeniably nasty, you can sort of see why they'd have a chip on their collective shoulder when it comes to humanity. The original human settlers on Helgen were hit with economic sanctions and terrible living conditions, not to mention the respiratory problems they faced thanks to the harsh atmosphere of an alien planet. Inevitably, the Helgen colonists revolted, became their own state, and essentially a different race. War ensued. Millions died, and then the humans made Helgen practically uninhabitable at the end of Killzone 3, and near enough wiped out the entire Helgen race. Good going, mankind. Remember earlier when we talked about Half-Life 2 and how the Combine were essentially allowed to invade because of advanced teleportation technology created by humans? Well, I'm pretty sure our last entry served as inspiration for that narrative. I mean, you'd have to be some kind of A-class moron to hit a button like that, wouldn't you? Or a badger puppet. In Doom, the father of the FPS genre, the horrible demons you're pumping full of shotgun are only there because humans simply couldn't help themselves. It's the old chestnut. Where do you draw the line when it comes to technology? Certainly I'd draw it way underneath performing secret experiments with teleportation between Mars's moons Phobos and Deimos. I mean, just listen to that sentence again. Performing secret experiments with teleportation between Mars's moons Phobos and Deimos. It's one of the most evil sentences I've ever heard, especially when you consider the person doing the experimenting isn't actually a person, but a multi-planetary conglomerate called Union Aerospace Corporation. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to mucking about with teleports in space, but it sounds to me like what might happen is the experiments could go wrong and some demons could come out. Yes, that happened. Stupid humans and their stupid experiments. Thank goodness there's a burly space marine on hand to blast them back where they came from. And thank goodness real humans would never be as silly as video game humans and make decisions that could lead to things like an Orwellian surveillance state, alien invasion, or total global annihilation. Let us know in the comments if you can think of any other video game futures completely ruined by humans like this video to avert the dislike apocalypse, and subscribe for more of these videos every Friday. I'm going back to Fallout 4. You should too.